media group R2, and these are my super team members. I'm Lilo. We interview a supermarket named Facework Food Assist in retail industry. And today we will use it as case study to introduce the food rescue organizations. And do you know an interesting fact? Australians waste around 7.6 million tons of food every year. That's enough to fill the Melbourne cricket ground 9 times over. Facework is a face-driven organization based in Adelaide, making a real difference for 100 to 200 families every day. Powered by dedicated volunteers, they transform donated food, including items that might otherwise go to waste, into carefully sorted and distributed essentials. And these are the key process of the Facework, including storage management, customer service, checkout, receiving and sorting donations, and so on. Look at these pictures. And the sorting department is responsible for the fruit and veggies. And the kitchen responsible for the make lunchbox. Totally sold like $2. And the storage department is very important because everything will sorted here except canned drinks and food and veggies, and they will decided well the items will go just like go straightly into the shop or put them into the storage room or just go outside for free. And the final step is customer service. All the products like fruits, drinks, meat, and household goods will be priced and sold here. Next one. And there are also some secondary process to support the mass process, like transportation, volunteer training, and cleaning. The management process, like including donor reporting, coordinating weekly volunteer work, strategic planning, and decision making, and financial. Yeah, the strategies are politics are made by the founder Bruce, but the actual strategies are carried out by the manager Daniel. It is really a hardest part of the job because the donated good amount here is different, and the volunteer schedule are not fixed. For example, if volunteers is enough, they will just work on their self-Zoom. Like I responsible for the reception and storage Zoom, but one day I have to be the security, the shop assist, and also work in the storage Zoom. So I just felt I like multi-purpose to that day. Just kidding. And back to the main point, because of the fact, so most guidance are just spoken, not written. As Daniel said in interview, when they face the challenges, they have to use their wisdom to find the solutions, and sometimes they will also cry to the God for help. Thank you, and I will hand it over to Sarah.
Thank you, Lee. Hi everyone, my name is Sarav, and I will walk you through some of the main processes that we investigated and we tried to improve. Now, we all know that the process diagrams, the BPMN diagrams that we designed are quite intense and large. So while I walk you through the processes, there's a QR code right here. You can scan that and you'll be able to get a view of the diagrams that we made, so you can relate to what I'm saying. So the first process that we sort of explored was a categorical storing and the quality and strategic storage process. So in this process, mainly it begins when donated goods come delivered into the store. So the goods that come in are mainly categorized into a few different types, could be perishable, non-perishable household and meal prep ingredients. And then they eventually get sorted into different departments depending on the needs. Now these goods are quite complex to handle, and they go through a very complex process of being categorized depending on their expiry dates, their quality, their condition, all those different things. At the moment, the whole process is very manual, and two processes such as the expiry checks are done by two different departments at the moment. So both the sorting and the storage department conducts the process of checking the goods, which is a repetitive task at the moment. So these are things we will be looking into in the future. And the next process that we explored was the customer service and checkout process. Now this step begins when the customer has lined up to pay for their services, and because this store is a discounted store, they incorporate a lot of free goods, a lot of discounts, promotions, a lot of things. They offer a lot of things to their customers. Now, this whole process again is very manual. All the discounts are counted manually. All the promotions are provided manually depending on the membership that they have. And it takes a lot of time, and there's a lot of room for error as well. So in the next slide, I'll be describing how we automate these processes. So for the categorical storing and the sorting and the storage process, we are basically turning it into a barcode-enabled digital system where when the goods come in, basically the delivery person will be attaching a barcode, and that barcode will go into the inventory management system. And the whole process of sorting the goods and depending on their expiry dates, on their condition, everything is basically analyzed by the system. So the job of the teams are basically to verify the input that comes out of these systems, just to ensure that the system is not generating the wrong report. And then it kind of streamlines the whole process and divides the task for the teams. And then what it does is it essentially increases efficiency, it reduces time and room for any human error as well. Moving on to the next service. So because the whole customer service is a more manual process at the moment, they are calculating discounts as well in a manual way. What we're trying to do is we will be incorporating a cloud-based POS system. So in this system, mainly there will be a digital membership card that will be offered to customers as well. Depending on their membership, the discounts and everything that goes on from there on will be calculated by the POS system itself. So payments can be digital there, and if any customer wants to pay by cash, that can be an option as well. But basically what it will do is it will save their membership details, it will save their purchases, and also leverage that into turning them into discounts in the future as well. Now I'll move on to the next part and I'll pass it on to Shivam.
So hello everyone, my name is Shivam, and today I will talk about the collaborative improvement, the approach we took to talk with Daniel, the store manager, the concerns he raised, and the adaptation we took for the 2B processes. So at first, we discussed on the Zoom meeting, like a small Zoom video meeting, and we presented the drafts of our BPM and diagram, like BPM and diagram and 2B processes that we decided that we will improve, such as the main focus was categorical sorting, quality control, and strategic storage and customer service and checkout. So our main focus was on automation and standardization. We wanted to make a simplistic improvement that are not too technical and not too complex. We also invited an honest feedback that we are not being too ambitious about the 2B processes, and we are staying in the limit of the overall domain or overall store. Some things landed well, like Daniel gave a good appreciation for the barcode labeling and POS use, like it is removing the human errors. Also agreed that the auto-applying free items would reduce the inconsistency, human errors, and all of that. Also, he supported that the manual fallback plan for the system errors, like sometimes it's like technical things are not in our hands, so sometimes it gives you an error. So he also appreciated that. And also he liked the idea of the phased-based implementation, not doing everything at once. But also, like, not everything was good. He said that most of the staff is volunteer. They might have a problem of digital literacy, or they might need some training. So it will give a lot of havoc in the store, and internet reliability can be also an issue for the store, that And we need the low risk system that is easy to use for the volunteers. And he also he also told us to be cautious about, like, don't be too complicated, don't just to become too ambitious about the things you are going to propose. Just make it simple and make it cost effective. So we reassessed our technological processes, and we offered some responses that are, we simplified the UI flow, which is easy to learn, easy to use, and volunteers can learn it in some small training sessions. We also included the manual backups after every critical point. Like if there is one big point, like the system error might cause a big problem, we added a manual backup, and which won't be problematic in the future. We also reference the tools like Loivers and Airtable, which are we found on the internet that does the work. So he told us about the cost effectiveness and to be like not too complex. So Loivers and Airtable, especially Loivers, is a good tool for that. And also we said that we don't have to do everything at once. Like we can go on the phase base, like let's do the one task at a time and then go to the second, not everything at once. It will be too chaotic. So this is how we did the collaborative feedback from the Daniel, the store manager, and it made us understand how the feedback is important in business process modeling. Thank you. I will move to Hank for the next presentation slide.
Thank you. I'm Stephen. Let me talk about how our group used design thinking in this assignment. And the first phrase is emphasize. We just deeply talked with Daniel, the manager of FaceWork, and he told us several problems he faced, just like the volunteer will not following standard procedures, and they will cause the lower quality of the product, and the customer will complain it. And he also told us some volunteer is not will have the conflicts with the customer. They will let them feel not really confident, and they will leave the jobs, and it will cause higher turnover. So it will affect the efficiencies and ability of FaceWork to serve the people. And then go on to the next is define phrase. We look closely at Daniel's feedback. We think two important processes. The first is sorting and storage process. Another is customer service and checkout process, because it's quite close to the product's quality and customer experience. So, but there are currently slow and heavy menu and leaving a lot of space to improve. And then we go on to the iterate. In this part, we just brainstorm the solution, and because we know the FaceWork haven't enough financial resources, so we just quickly drop out just like the RFID and just like the a complex inventory system, because they haven't enough money, and we just quickly pick up the barcode system and the crowd-based checkout system, because it is quite easy for learn to the volunteer and is more affordable, and it can also reduce the main point, just like the inventory accuracy and the slow checkout system. And another part is prototype phrase. We just create clear and simple diagram showing the improvement would work. We show how barcode would track item easily, and how the post system would handle the member check, discount, and even handle the payment error automatically. And our main focus was making sure the volunteer can totally understand the whole process and reduce their workload and frustrated. And the final is the test. We suggest running a small trial to test the new change. During the pilots, we just planning to make measure, just like reduce the waiting time, increase the accuracy of inventory, and reduce the complaint from the customer. After the pilot, we receive a lot of feedbacks, and we will keep improve and refine the system. So this is what design thinking we use in this task. So let's move on to Stephen.
Thank you, Hank. Good morning, class. I shall take you through the recommendations and change management strategies. So firstly, with the change management strategies, we'll first start off with a small section of the business and phase out the new process throughout the whole business. Then we'll also engage volunteers, provide ongoing support, and also provide ongoing training to the staff members. And for the recommendations, we'll implement an IMS and point of sale system. This will automate a lot of activities. We'll also train volunteers to learn how the system works and to work more efficiently. We will standardize core workflows and document all necessary procedures so that oncoming teams can easily have that content. For efficiency, we will have faster checkouts, and valued delivered effectiveness will reduce fewer manual errors. And finally, we'll also recommend dollar value, where less waste and spoilage can save hundreds of dollars in FaithWorks. That brings me to the end of our presentation. Do we have any questions?
Good. Thank you. I just want to ask, how did you manage, or how did you make your decision regarding to saving $100 for the development that you suggested for their business process?
So through automation, we keep track of like the stock flowing in, and therefore eliminating wastage because you can easily keep track of it.
What
Yes.
kind of wastage they have?
Maybe Lee could answer that.
I can answer that. So mainly the kind of wastage we're looking at are the goods that get delivered. So primarily food wastage is what we're trying to eliminate. But most importantly, the reason we chose these two processes for automation is because we want to improve the customer experience. And I feel like if we do that, there will be more inflow of revenue through customers, which will again give us a more of a push in terms of cash flow as well. And then all of these systems that we recommend will eventually be basically they will be rewarded as well.
Okay. So some of you also mentioned that that manager, he requested you to make a simple development for their processes, and he has a concern regarding to the cost. How did you reply to his note? Or what do you think, Sarah? Can I ask somebody else?
So mainly, like, he said that don't complicate the process overall. Like, keep it simple so the volunteers can work on it. Like, they do not have any digital literacy. If we give them too much complex software that is like specially made for the IT staff, that would be a problematic. So he said that keep it simple. Find some softwares that are too easy to use and not too complicated. Some functionalities that are not being done by the software, that's okay, but do not complicate that. So we came with Loivers and Airtable. So Loivers is what we prefer. Loivers has a lot of benefits, like it does not have any internet requirement, which he raised the concern about, like internet reliability is not quite frequent in the store, and it can work on the offline mode. It is easy to use, and volunteers can learn it in just one training session. So yes, so we replied that Loivers would be a better option rather than going to customize the software development.
I wanted to also add that for the inventory management system, we tried to make sure that, of course, the team cannot have an IT backup team as well. So they definitely need someone who is basically, let's say, if we grab an over-the-shelf system, what we can do is we can reach out to the team that offers that service. So for example, I recommended Zoho Inventory Management. We can reach out to Zoho's team if we ever have a shortfall in IT.
Yeah.
So we try to keep that in
And
mind.
I want to add some point, just like because Facebook is not really like the normal retail industry, it's not really focused on how to gain more money, and it's really focused on just like the mass cost. So they will use the volunteer, etc. So it's really turnover is really high. So they want to have the process is quite easy to identify the people just store once again. They can quickly learn the process.
I have to stop because of the time. Do you have anything you want to add?
Yes, because I do the reception there. So even though they have many volunteers there, and I do the reception, just use the system to add the membership card and the barcode to, like, if you want to create a new membership, you can go to the reception office and I will do that. But only 3 staffs can do that because they need to run the systems.
And Lee, I just want to make sure your name is L.I.?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. And you are Zifek. Okay, thank you very much. But no one recorded the visit. Okay, perfect. Now upload, the one who uploaded the slides has to upload the recording on the same submission folder for the slides.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, thank you.
Just gonna show the laser section. Is that okay?
That's fine. I mentioned in my, I know that was for the reports, but for this one, that's fine.